Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the controversy surrounding Tucker Carlson? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of Tucker Carlson, then I'll move to my analysis. Tucker Swanson McNear Carlson was born in San Francisco on May 16, 1969. His father was a reporter and his mother an artist. Tucker had one younger brother. In 1976, Tucker's parents divorced. He and his brother lived with his father. His mother moved to France. Tucker moved with his father and brother to San Diego. His father remarried in 1979. Tucker attended a boarding school in Rhode Island and then a college in Connecticut. In 1991, he earned a bachelor's degree in history. He applied to the Central Intelligence Agency but was rejected. He ended up getting a job as a fact-checker for a conservative journal and then worked as an opinion writer for a newspaper in Arkansas. In 1995, he took a job at the Weekly Standard news magazine. Tucker continued his career as a columnist for New York Magazine and Reader's Digest. He wrote for the Weekly Standard, the New York Times Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications. In 2001, he became a host on the CNN TV show Crossfire, which featured people talking about current events. He would later lose this job after having a heated discussion with Jon Stewart. Tucker continued to work on television. He was on a few shows and became a Fox News contributor in 2009. In 2016, he was given his own show on Fox News called Tucker Carlson Tonight, which aired at 7 p.m. The show was tremendously successful, averaging 2.8 million viewers per night. Only the O'Reilly Factor had a larger audience. In 2016, the show was moved to the more desirable 8 p.m. slot after the O'Reilly Factor was canceled. The show had a few ups and downs as far as viewership, but after that, its performance improved. By October of 2020, the show averaged 5.3 million viewers, which at that time was the highest average of any cable news program in history. That average would later drop to about 3 million, but it was still a staggering audience size. Despite his apparent commercial success, Tucker's career at Fox News ended on April 24, 2023, when he and his executive producer were suddenly fired. The decision was made by the owner of Fox News, a billionaire named Rupert Murdoch. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts in a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. What was Tucker Carlson's position on various political issues? Tucker is considered a conservative. Time magazine once called him the most powerful conservative in America. Strangely, Tucker has been accused of being a secret liberal. I don't think there's really much evidence to support this, although he was technically registered as a Democrat from 2006 to 2020. Tucker said he did this to vote in the primaries where he lived in Washington, D.C., and claimed that he sincerely despised the Democratic Party. Tucker registered as a Republican in 2020, and most of his beliefs align with this political ideology. One could argue that some of his beliefs are probably better described as libertarian. Here's a summary of Tucker's position. He is no friend of big corporations. He's in favor of a United States president who is strong. Tucker has a populist view of the economy, is against the death penalty, and has strong opinions on immigration, like he would prefer that immigration was greatly limited. He has been described as promoting nationalism and isolationism. Tucker does not think that the United States should intervene in foreign affairs. He regretted supporting the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Finally, Tucker supports freedom of speech. His political positions have changed somewhat over the years, but they have been relatively steady in recent times. It's clear that he has put a lot of thought into his position and has connected with a wide audience that feels the same way. Item number 2. Tucker has drawn a lot of attention for promoting conspiracy theories and generally providing misinformation. A few examples. Tucker was a fan of the Donald Trump stolen election conspiracy theory. Later, it became clear that he privately doubted the false claims that the election was stolen. Tucker promoted the conspiracy theory that said the storming of the Capitol was a false flag operation. He has provided misleading information about COVID-19 vaccines, and he bought into the replacement conspiracy theory. He believes that Democrats support immigration in order to replace white people. Item number 3, what is Tucker Carlson's opinion of Donald Trump? Initially, Tucker was not impressed by Donald. He said that he was the single most repulsive person on the planet. By 2016, Tucker had changed his mind. He became a fan of Donald Trump, although he was still critical of him somewhat. In private conversations, which later became public, Tucker referred to Trump as a demonic force and claimed that he passionately hated him. In March 2023, Tucker backed away from this position quite a bit when he said, quote, "I love Trump. I think Trump is funny and insightful," unquote. Item number 4, why was Tucker Carlson fired from Fox News? This seems like such an irrational decision for the company to make considering how popular Tucker was. He irritated a lot of people and alienated many advertisers, but he still had a massive following, not something that Fox News could easily replace. The company never offered an explanation for firing Tucker, but here are a few theories as to their motive. First possible motive, the company settled a defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for over $787 million. Tucker was not the worst offender at Fox News as far as creating liability on that issue, but he wasn't completely innocent either. Second possible motive, Fox News is facing a lawsuit from a former producer regarding actions allegedly taken by Tucker. Perhaps Fox News simply didn't want the grief of being connected with the alleged behavior. Third possible motive, Tucker has faced allegations of maintaining a terrible work environment on his show. Perhaps he is simply not sophisticated and empathic enough to have a powerful position at a major media organization. His crude, antagonistic, and annoying demeanor is inconsistent with the image that Fox News is looking for. Fourth possible motive, during the legal proceedings leading up to the settlement with Dominion Voting Systems, many of Tucker's private communications were made public. It's clear that he was heavily critical of the leadership at Fox News. Maybe the executives simply had their feelings hurt and wanted revenge, like they were too immature to accept criticism. Fifth possible motive, one report indicated that around the time all these other problems were happening, like the lawsuits, Tucker gave a speech where he said that national politics is a battle between good and evil. He specifically mentioned that people might want to pray in order to change the direction of the United States. Ostensibly, Rupert Murdoch is not a fan of any type of pronounced spiritual or religious conviction, so maybe Tucker was fired for talking too much about spirituality. When considering all these possible motives, what do I think happened? Whatever happened, it was probably based on one factor, not a combination of factors. This is the simplest explanation. My guess is that Tucker upset Rupert Murdoch with his statements about the leadership at Fox News. Rupert may have thought something like, "How dare this guy criticize my company or criticize me? I'll teach him who's boss." Like Rupert was trying to put Tucker back in his place and send a message to everyone else who works at Fox News that no one was safe. If Rupert was willing to fire the number one star, he was willing to fire anyone. If this is the reason that Tucker was fired, it shows a great deal of immaturity on the part of Rupert Murdoch. Tucker Carlson's job was to criticize people. A critic is always going to criticize everyone. That's what they do. They can't help themselves. Item number 5, will Fox News recover from firing Tucker Carlson? I don't think that his employment termination will make much of a difference at all to Fox News in the long run. Many popular commentators believe that they are special or valuable. They think that their employer will suffer when they're fired, but that's rarely true. Once they are disconnected from whatever originally made them famous, like a TV show, they find out that everyone forgets who they are. I'm sure that Tucker can start his own podcast and develop his social media accounts effectively. He will still make millions of dollars, but his day in the sun is over. His career as he knew it has concluded, but he should be excited for a new adventure. Bill O'Reilly was a popular commentator as well, before being fired, and he's definitely not in the limelight anymore. There is one potential lasting negative for Fox News, though. Anyone who becomes famous on that network is always going to be mindful of other career options. There is no job security at Fox News. The message that Rupert may have been trying to send could have unintended consequences. Now moving to my final item, number 6. What are my thoughts about Tucker Carlson? Do I think he was a good commentator? If I were to separate the political message from the commentator, I would say that Tucker is a talented writer who could sometimes make effective arguments. He was a better writer than he was a talk show host. Tucker definitely connected with a large audience, more so than many other commentators have been able to do. I'm not sure it was always for the right reasons, but his popularity was impressive. I think with all political commentators, viewers are put in the position of taking the good with the bad. Nobody's perfect, and no single set of political beliefs is going to make everyone happy. My problem with Tucker Carlson isn't based on him having a lack of talent or anything like that. My difficulty is that Tucker bought into conspiracy theories and made many misrepresentations. He was often careful not to make false claims directly. His maneuvering through the use of speculation and innuendo was impressive, but clearly he was trying to promote nonsense some of the time. I think that Tucker had a challenging relationship with the truth. They were not on good terms. A person cannot represent conservative or liberal values very well if they cannot be honest. That's the part that Tucker didn't understand. I think that was his fundamental disconnect from many people. Another aspect I did not like with Tucker Carlson was how he borrowed the dramatic presentation style that many left-wing commentators use. Nothing he talked about was just neutral or of minor importance. Every topic was about the end of the world. He wanted his viewers to believe that the left was trying to destroy humanity. The stakes were always life and death. He wanted people to be afraid and angry. In line with this, he tended to vilify his opponents, again using the tactics we see with the liberal media. He never really demonstrated an ability to simply disagree with someone. Why did his opposition always have to be evil? Why did they always have to be working on a grand plan for the destruction of the galaxy? Why can't people simply just disagree anymore? Tucker and other commentators like him are willing to falsely accuse people of being biased or evil simply because those people maintain a different opinion. This is intellectually lazy and does not lead to solutions. Tucker was not giving people something to think about. He was trying to tell them how to think. His arguments were sometimes decent, but they were weakened by his tendency to exaggerate and misrepresent. In his defense, one could argue that Tucker was making fun of the liberal media by adopting their exact same set of tactics. This is probably one reason the liberal media disliked him so much. He was similar to them, except he was playing for the other team. Tucker Carlson should use getting fired to reinvent himself. This is his chance to commit to the truth, admit fault once in a while, and develop a more nuanced view of the world. Tucker has demonstrated a willingness to change his beliefs and his style in the past. Maybe this is his chance to demonstrate that ability one more time. Those are my thoughts on the controversy surrounding Tucker Carlson. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comments section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.